Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Thank you for checking out another episode of the show. Today's feature is my good buddies Jakob, Baxter, and Nate Gilberg. A couple of returning guests out by to talk about the brand new Yard Eagle EP that is available everywhere you get your digital music. We do a little preview. If you haven't picked it up yet, you're going to hear all three songs on this episode. I want to remind you that Rock Paper Podcast is brought to you by Roughneck Beard Company and American Rambler, located in Maplewood, Missouri, off of Manchester. You can shop there, or you can shop 24/7 all over the world at roughneckbeardcompany.com. You can stop by, use my code RPP15 for an exclusive 15% off your purchase of all your favorite beard oils, beard balms, junk powder, or even their Roughneck Genesis. It's a fortifying and nourishing beard maximizer. This time of year is all about Roughneck Genesis. It features aloe vera juice infused with biotin, B12, MSM, and glycerin. This product will actually help your hair and skin pull moisture in from the air around it, keeping everything soft and healthy. Just a couple of quick sprays before adding your favorite beard oil or balm, and you're good to go. Again, check out Roughneck Genesis, check out roughneckbeardcompany.com, and use that code RPP15 for 15% off. Also, big thank you to Heil Sound for their help making the show sound great. Visit heilsound.com today and get yourself a brand new microphone. That's it for me, everybody. If you need me, you can always find me at rockpaperpodcast@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear what you're listening to. If you have any requests for people you want to hear on the show or anything else, just say hey. You can also find me at Rock Paper Podcast on your Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and wherever you're listening to podcasting at. So thank you for all your continued support. With that out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy this brand new episode with Yard Eagle.
Podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
Hey, all you cool cats. This is Yard Eagle, bringing you the smooth sounds of Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Scissors beat paper, paper covers rock. Rock beats scissors, Shane covers non-stop. Never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot. Could be rock, folk, country, or hip-hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the
Rock Paper Podcast.
double-decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. Hanging out today with Yard Eagle, Jakob Baxter from Yard Eagle, returning guest, and we also have another returning guest, Nate Gilberg.
Hello.
Hey man, welcome back to the show, guys.
Hello, good to see you, brother.
Good to be back.
This is cool, man. I'm really glad to be here, and I was pulled that up today that Jake was telling me about coming over here, and I was like, oh yeah, Nate's an old friend of the show. We did one of these a long time ago, and
It's been a minute. I can't even remember what I was doing in that time in my life.
I think we just kind of talked about, you were doing a lot of work, like just playing bass, and then I think you were getting into audio recording and stuff and some things, and I don't know, we just kind of talked about a lot of different stuff you were part of, so as far as I remember, but yeah,
man.
it's been a long time, and that's kind of what's cool about this one too, is we did a Jake Baxter one long time ago too.
Like 3 years ago, almost now.
What were you, a junior in high school?
I was 22. Please. And I was still living in O'Fallon, and Shane came all the way over there.
Wow.
And yeah, that was like when I just had come to town, and he plucked me up and said, I'm gonna make you a star, baby.
That's what happened.
3 years later,
Yep.
you know,
That's-
everyone knows that story.
Right. Well, reason we're here today is because we do have a brand new Yard Eagle EP out there, available everywhere.
Sick.
Oh yeah, really sick. And we're going to talk about some of these tracks, and we're going to talk about what you guys are doing, working together now and stuff. So let's start it off with track number 1, guys. This is a song called Trouble. And this is a whole lot of fun. I really enjoyed the whole EP, but this is really a great sing-along. And you want to talk about it a little bit, Jake?
Yeah, man. I've actually had that tune for a while. I probably wrote that when I was 20 or 21. My buddy Trevor, who's not a drummer, and I were jamming, but he came up with like this little beat, and I came up with this chord change. I wrote the tune, and then I had the chorus at that point in time. Then I've just had it for a while, and it's gone through a lot of different changes. The version that we did with it on the EP was the first time we'd ever done it with like that hard intro and all that kind of stuff. So it's a song that I've had for a while, and I really love because it can just be a lot of different things. And I don't even really remember what I wrote about at the time. I was like, yeah, I don't remember what it was. I was hanging out with my friend Chantel a lot. And I think that part of the lyrics were like about her, and like her bad decisions that she'd make every now and then that I would continue to crawl back to. And so that was like kind of what it was about at the time. But the song features very prominently this beautiful, it's called an Echoplex, right?
Yeah.
Is that box, which is like
70s. It was like a 71 EP3, I believe it is. Called.
And then and Nate's actually technically playing that where all those noise sections where it just kind of screams and freaks out and stuff is that Echoplex is all
so
over
it's like
that.
a big tape cassette that's like, just imagine like 40 seconds worth of tape, like an actual, like, it looks just like an old cassette tape you used to put in your, I don't know how old you are out there in internet world. I'm not sure if you're as young as Jacob. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
I had VeggieTales on cassette as a
He
kid.
had VeggieTales on cassette.
Come on.
I'm eating my hat. No, but it's like got 40 seconds worth of tape, and then there's a little slider that basically decides how fast the tape plays and how much it loops, etc. So anyway, by moving this slider, you can change the pitch of like the pre-recorded sounds and make things sound like they're, dying space animals of some sort. You can do all sorts of stuff with it. It's pretty cool.
1, 2, 3, 4. Broken hearted and departed, stole away, and it started. Sometimes the only way out is through the other side. But why try to hide when you're on my side? There ain't no trouble where the wind blows. There ain't no worry where I go. There ain't no trouble where the wind blows. There ain't no worry where I go. Pick it up again, mama. Hide your face and be alone. Strike it up again, mama. Roll you over like a stone. But sometimes I find a reason to hang around your door. But what's in store? it's impossible to, I don't know really how you're supposed to play it by yourself.
Oh, well, literally just, I mean, like another brick on the wall, like the guitar delay. Mm-hmm. It's just that.
Well, they said it, I guess, in one place, probably.
Yeah, you just set it in one place, and it's just a really creamy delay. Like, you can get a pretty good slap. But no, like, all that classic delay stuff in those, like, 70s and 80s rock songs, before they had digital delay lines, it was all those. It was a tape delay, typically. Either, like, jerry-rigged on a console or in a little tape delay unit like that. They also had, like, Roland had one that was really famous called the Space Echo.
I remember, yeah.
Sick.
I remember when we were recording it, too, it was like, I really wanted to go for this thing on the record of kind of like anti-guitar lead style stuff instead of being like, oh, like, let's play as many notes as possible and like go and do that bullshit. Like, which is like fun to do sometimes, but like I get really tired of doing that. All the leads for the record was just kind of like, how can this just sound like we aren't trying to do anything fancy? It's like, how can I hold this one note and put as much fuzz on it that it just screams at you? I remember we'd listen back to it in the control room, and Nate would just be looking at me like, this is the most ignorant thing I've ever heard. I'm like, yeah, that's what we're going for.
Disrespectful.
It's just, disrespectful.
Disrespectful. Yeah, we had Joe Bonamassa do a couple of solos on this album, but we ended up cutting them.
Yeah, they just weren't that good.
We just cut them.
He kept talking about tone loss and like lack of signal.
Hey, we all love Joe. We all love Papa Joe. We all love Papa Joe, but it just wasn't the right sound for this album.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Expensive to find that out too.
But hey, it's cool. I don't need a car.
Right.
Sold it. Got Joe Bonamassa to do 2 scratch tracks on the record. It was sick.
Totally worth it.
Jacob fed me quite a bit of blackberry wine, so I'm now talking about Joe Bonamassa. I'm really sorry, guys.
It's a good thing this is documented, so we have,
Yeah, Nate doesn't ever drink with me very much. He's more of we just get stoned together, and he watches me drink.
It's true. It's true, but this is very delicious. Tell us about this wine.
This wine is made by my cousin's vineyard. Vineyards of White Oak in Pawnee, Illinois. This is a 2016 vintage. And they got a great vineyard. They make a bunch of berry wines. They're all very tart, very tasty. You can attest to that.
Indeed.
yeah, it was definitely tasty.
It's got some heat, though.
So wait, why is it so fire, though?
Because they don't try to sweeten it up too much. You know what I mean? They let the natural bear. That's people who actually eat fruit and not people who drink St. James.
They're fruit eaters.
Yeah, they're actual fruit eaters.
Duly noted.
Check, please.
A taxi. Yeah. Oh man.
So how'd you two originally kind of decide to work together to make this to go into studio together and stuff?
It was Tinder really started it all to begin.
Sure.
Yeah, we kept matching, not commenting. I have like 4 alt profiles.
Right.
And then, it was on every site. He hit me up on Bumble, on Grindr, on Tinder, on
what's the other shit?
Plenty of Fish.
Yeah, Christian Mingle.
He kept hitting me up on Plenty of Fish. And eventually I was like,
even
let's
my
do
Farmers
this.
Only account.
And so the first date didn't go too well. Maddie was really mad I was going on the date. But, we didn't hit it off romantically, but we immediately had a musical synergy.
Right? Yeah. We bonded over Joe Bonamassa first and foremost. We immediately knew that we liked the same
we both
kind
love
of
Joe
contrived,
Bonamassa
shitty blues
so
rock.
much. Hey, I was on the Joe Bonamassa Blues Cruise last year. This is not a bit. And
I forgot that you actually did meet Joe Bonamassa.
And I have to say, his main set on the pool deck with Anton Fig on drums. Dude, okay, we can laugh about Joey B all day. Papa Joe, we can laugh about it all day. And I'm not saying I'm buying the record or playing it at home, but that was a heck of a show. I'll say that. It was like if the Saturday Night Live band was on the Chitlin circuit at sea. I don't even know how to. It was an experience. Also, Anton Fig. I don't even know who that dude really is, but I've heard that name 1,000 times. Like, you know, like your drum teacher in college is like, oh yeah, you gotta check out like Anton Fig. He's really got some crazy chops, you know. And like, but dude, I'm just saying, we can all laugh about Papa Joe shredding. You know, there's some. He used to be a little bit more portly and funny looking, you know, and now he's all like skinny and like
He's like on the keto diet.
He's on the keto diet, so we can't make fun of him that way anymore. He's not a thick king
Not that
like
we
me
did
anymore.
before.
I did. I mean, I'm a thick king, so I can throw that out there. You
Fair.
know? I can make Jew jokes too because I'm Jewish. So, but with Joey B, he's skinny
Fix
now.
that in post. Cut that out in post.
Joey B is skinny now, and he shreds like he's fit.
We don't have that technology, so.
Yeah.
Now this is all innate. You're getting canceled.
Yard Eagle canceled, anti-Semitic. But no, we met through.
I can't wait for the rom-com movie story of this to come out, though, guys.
It's gonna be super cute.
Yeah.
What's the title of it? We got to figure out what's the title of the Jacob and Nate love story.
It is just dirty power.
Dirty Power.
Yeah.
And it's like the key like scene is kind of like in Ghost with the pottery, but you're playing a guitar, and I'm like helping you play the guitar from behind.
It's actually just you handling my entire life while I just
I'm like it's like
Train can do whatever I want.
Michael-
And he handles all my distribution.
Michael Bolton is playing while I do your taxes. I'm like behind you doing your taxes around you, fixing your life. I love it.
For my money, it doesn't get any better than when he sings "When a Man Loves a Woman."
Oh no, it's amazing. I mean, hey, that's another. You know, we can make fun of Joey B, we can make fun of Mikey B, but I mean, hey, man, at the end of the day,
It's really about Kenny G.
he's a fucking legend.
Yeah.
Kenny G too. Hey, you know what? Say what you want about Kenny G. I'm not saying I'm going to buy the record or listen to it at home, but old dude can shred.
Oh yeah.
Homie
When
can
someone's
shred.
buying the records.
What I love is like that those two, but especially Michael Bolton and Kenny G, also have a sense of humor about themselves because they were
Absolutely.
both on that Lonely Island record and everything and stuff, and like and things like that. So like that Michael Bolton in the pirate song and stuff like that, that shit's hilarious, man. Like
Oh, dude, absolutely.
Yeah.
And dude, okay, so Kenny G's an interesting figure because if he hadn't like gotten kind of popular for a second, he wouldn't be a joke. He just got big enough for Pat Metheny to write a really scathing article in Downbeat. And all of a sudden, it's a meme to make fun of fucking Kenny G. To be fair, that album was a meme. That he made a meme, then he became one because it was so fucking hilarious. But he would have just been a top call, shredding ass, classical jazz crossover kind of.
He would have been like the guy you called for a studio session when you're shredding.
He's a guy who gets paid like, you know, top studio rate to come do that one solo part on the Disney movie. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Where it has to be perfect.
Yeah, Randy Newman would have called him for the, the
Absolutely.
Tarzan soundtrack.
No,
or whatever.
absolutely. He would
Like-
have got he would have just been that guy, and he still is that guy. He never stopped being that
think-
guy. It's no longer cool to like hang out with Kenny G. I don't. It's just like, sorry, he shreds so hard and didn't have the best taste on that one record, dude. Fuck. Sorry. My bad. His bad.
so, you said "Dirty Power."
Dirty Power?
That is actually the name of the company. So that's not just.
And I want to say something. All right, I made this company last November. I was in Tallahassee, Florida, and we were at this place. Okay, if you follow me on Facebook, you're probably familiar with a certain sound guy who comments on all of my political posts. A certain conservative man by the name of Patrick. Anyway, me and Patrick are buds, even though we spar on the internet. But anyway, he's the sound guy at this place. Anyway, so Patrick is a great sound guy. Questionable political taste. I'll leave that aside. So we were there, and we were getting all this noise through all the amps. Monitors, amps, mains, it just nonstop. We tried everything. Fucking adapters, transformers, ground lifts, this, that. Nothing was working. And this guy was walking by, one of the owners, and Devin's like, Hey, brother, what can we do about this? This shit's all fucked up. I don't know what he said. That's basically what he said. I'm paraphrasing. And the guy goes, yeah, it's just really dirty power, but I'll tell you what, it gets better at night. And they were just quiet in the room. And Devin goes, it gets better at night. That's the most bullshit response I've ever heard. And bro, I love you for it. Don't worry about it. We're moving on. He was like, if you're telling me it gets better at night, I know that's bullshit, because at night the show's gonna happen and then it's too late for us to do anything. It's like, what a fucking genius way to just push it all off.
Yeah.
You know? So anyway,
Fix it in post.
So anyway, my company is now Dirty Power Productions, and the tagline is, it gets better at night.
Did it get better?
No.
If anything, it got worse.
It was fucking awful all night. And I left some amp noise in on your record as a tribute to that.
Yeah, there is some of that, which I like. Nice. I like that kind of stuff. There's a lot of like little bits of us kind of talking back and forth in that too.
Yeah. I like all those little things, those little nuances and stuff. Like,
little Easter eggs.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the single. I guess that's track 2. I Only Dream in Black and White. Now, again, available everywhere you get your digital music. And we got a brand new music video also to go with it. So
yes.
Let's talk about this track and the video and how all this came to be.
So the song came about. I was hanging out at the now defunct livery company. We obviously had the Static Attic upstairs. And I was hanging out with Brandon Barnes, who was one of the owners, bartender there. And we were just having conversations about whatever. And he mentioned the fact that he only dreams in black and white, which is like a thing that people have where you don't dream in color, which is insane to me. So I started sitting thinking there. I'm like, that's a great idea for like a song. And Ali Vogler and I actually started writing it together, and it had a completely different melody. We only had that chorus line and no lyrics for the verses. So I had that tune for just a little bit. Whatever. It wasn't really going anywhere. And then one night I was at livery again. And I went upstairs and I was messing around. And my buddy Casey Zukowski was there. And I wrote the chorus line for it with the chord changes, took it home, finished it. And then that was pretty much how it came up. And it was just a song about being in a band where I felt like I was just kind of like someone's jerk-off guy. You know, and just kind of being like, well, you know.
Go out on stage and show them your dick and jerk off.
But yeah, just be the most loudest guitar player you can be, brother. Kind of
show them your ass.
This shit's all fucked up, man.
Yeah, and it's like, I was just so tired of that. I thought that was such bullshit, and so I just
go dance for the people. Come on, Jakey, go dance for the people.
Shake that little ass out there.
It gets better at night.
We all have COVID now.
We all smoke weed.
Oh, that's true. Which is legal now in Missouri.
Super sick, bro.
Take that, feds.
Take that, Nixon.
Nixon, you dickhole.
Fucking prick. I'm glad that asshole's dead.
You know what? I never liked him. Did you ever?
I think they're definitely listening, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Shout out to my FBI agent, Fred. He's been watching me jerk it since fucking like 2006.
Sick, bro.
He's coming to my wedding. Yeah.
As a drone.
No, he's going to be watching me, inevitably.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what that song's about. And
I love this song, man. It's like kind of reminds me of like a Steve Miller Band type of vibe to it, like just
that loud acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
It's for real.
And which it wasn't originally like that, you know. It originally was like, what did you want for those sections? We had some totally I don't know. We had gone back and forth about that a couple times when we were making.
Yeah, I don't remember even now that we settled on what we did. I don't even remember what the initial.
Well, I just like, you know, the comes in is rock and roll, and then like it's kind of got that spacey chorus there, a little, you know, kind of thing, and breakdown, and then comes back, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just super cool. I liked it a lot.
I've lost some records to a one-night stand.
and the video is a ton of fun too.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, we have the video up on YouTube and Facebook featuring local legend Fred Friction.
As many different characters.
Yeah.
If you want to see Fred Friction as Frida, I remember so we were doing the shoot. My buddy Jake Gilberg from Chicago, who was a high school friend of mine, is who did all the promo photography for the record, excluding the album cover. My buddy Spencer Peck did that, who was in Pure October.
Oh, yeah.
Remember those guys?
Yeah,
Spencer did the
good friend of the show. Yeah.
Yep, he did the album cover over this other dispute with the original album cover. But so we get out, and I tell Fred, like, hey man, I really want you to be the star of this video, and the whole idea is going to be you are different people who are abusing me and members of the band. Like that's going to be
And like weird dreamscapes.
yeah, like all kind of like in these all in this weird kind of world. It's this black and white world. So Venice Cafe let us film there, and then the other two scenes were both shot at Livery Company downstairs and upstairs. And I remember I had seen Fred do a show with Jake Hurst of The Awful Good, and they did a drag show. And he was Frida. And I remember thinking it was the grossest fucking thing I'd ever seen in my life. Just dick hanging out to the side, fishnets. He's got a tampon coming out of his undies. Like, nasty. Frida's from Jersey. You know, like real gross. So I remember being like, I want to shoot Frida sometime. Like, that would be a great character.
Meadowview Heights.
Yeah.
New Jersey.
Jersey. So then we got Fred finally up in drag, and he's upstairs, and Neil's going to be the person that he's dancing on. And Fred comes out of the bathroom, and he's got a shirt on with these fake boobs, and it says "bad girl," and this nasty wig. And I mean, it's disgusting. I remember watching them shoot that video scene, and it was the most intense thing I'd ever seen. Because Fred just stuck his tongue right down Neil's throat.
You know what Fred reminds me of? Have
More
you
than
ever
a few
had
times.
sleep paralysis?
Yes.
You know how when you have sleep paralysis... Okay, all my sleep paralysis people out there will know what I'm talking about. There's like and when I get it, there's like a figure that will torment me. You know, like
Yeah.
I'll be like awake in my room and I can see the room, and then there's like a figure of like shifting darkness and menace, maybe holding a giant knife, maybe in Fred Friction drag, you know.
Bad girl?
Bad girl, yeah.
Bad girl shirt on.
Fred really does remind me of the figure of pure darkness that stalks me in my darkest dreams.
It's horrifying.
It's
in that
truly,
video-
he's
and
a
seeing
monster.
it in person was equally as horrifying, by the way. Like, the camera isn't doing that much magic there. It actually was scary, and I wish I would have recorded the audio of what he was saying to Neil as they were shooting that, because it was
And we're not
hell yeah,
saying
South City, baby.
We're not saying it's horrifying because he's in drag. It's
No.
horrifying because of the drag his line doesn't have shit on this guy.
He's walking in, he's like,
He is-
"What do you need, big boy?"
Yeah, he
he's
looks like
"You
he's
ever
gonna-
ridden one of these before?" Kind of shit. It's like, "Oh, this is scary."
Like his costume comes with a free assault charge. Like it's just like when he bought it, it's bad. But
I like that he said that they had to do multiple takes of that. Like
We did 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We did 3.
Making out with Neil.
Because we didn't have much of that stuff choreographed.
Right.
And so it was like the first time that Fred did it, he kind of like, you know,
too fast.
yeah, we weren't sure like the timeline, and then it got to be like, okay, first 15 seconds is you approaching, then it's you coming around the back of the chair, and then you're coming around this side, and then you mount him, and then it gets a little closer. Like,
So the first one was like a little too fast. The second one, Neil blew him, and then the third one, it was just right.
yeah, it was just right. And then at the end too, when we're all sitting on our knees on the ground, Fred's smoking a cigarette, and he turns around to the camera, and I remember watching it in person. We did that in one take, and Fred takes that cigarette and puts it out on his fucking tongue, and then eats the cigarette right in front. And I was like, to myself, I was like,
Yeah.
like, no fucking way that just happened. He was such a trooper that day. It was like 20 degrees. We had Fred out all day, and he like was grouchy. You know, by the end of the day, he was tired. His dogs were barking, and he just performed above and beyond for a 24 cases
Yeah, man.
stag.
He had his dogs with him?
Yeah.
Yeah, bad girl.
Yeah, I did appreciate they weren't just fake boobs, but they actually had the nipples on them too. Like,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they had really
Yeah.
pointy, like
Yeah.
eraser tips.
I so a couple things came to mind as you're telling the story, and I saw this group. I've seen them twice live. Group called Foxy Shazam.
Yo, hell yeah, I know Foxy Shazam.
And they're kind of like like their lead singer Eric has like a very Freddie Mercury type of vocal range and attitude, like on stage, and like but they were just rock and roll. And anyway, the first time I saw him was at a Point Fest here in St. Louis, and he says something like, "I need a cigarette. Anybody got a cigarette?" And then people just start slinging cigarettes on stage, and he's got like a whole fistful, like, and he lights them, puts them all in his mouth, lights them all, starts smoking them all as one. And then takes them and eats them like lit in first, and ate like an entire pack of cigarettes. And I was like,
and died.
I was like, that's like one of the craziest things I've ever seen. And I was like, okay, maybe it was one time. Nope. Saw him again the next a little while later and did the same trick.
Someone get this guy some Nicorette.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
a nicotine patch.
I was like, I hope he goes off stage and just barfs him up or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know how he does that.
All
but
the cotton filters and that can't be good for your digestive system.
I don't know how he does it.
It's like tobacco and paper, I imagine. Like that's not anything, but like the filters.
Well, the tobacco itself will kill you.
Will
it really?
Poison. Yeah, if you eat too much.
Not sick.
But it was wild, man. But like,
we used to take buckets of sugar water and empty the C-grade cigarettes you buy for 50 cents under the counter. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like hats off C-grade fucking cigarettes.
Virginia Slims.
Well, no, those are expensive, man. No, I'm talking about the cheap, like non-graded, like Chinese cigarettes.
Oh,
anyway.
No, then I'm not familiar.
And dude, and we would just take these big buckets of sugar water, fill them with cigarettes that we would take out of the tobacco we take out of the cigarettes, and leave them in our greenhouses to kill all the bugs. So shit's poisonous as well.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope he's puking them up because that
Yeah.
motherfucker probably dying.
So there's another part that came to mind, another story. So I had the privilege of being in a friend's music video also, and his video, he wanted to, like, I was like this preacher type character in this like black mask and like and I had to wear a suit and all, and so I was this character, and I was at this podium like preaching and stuff, and he had to like run up and tackle me like on the pew, and of course like we didn't get it in the first take, and like so I had to get tackled like 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, and it was just I thought it was funny that Neil had to make out with Fred a couple times to get the shot right and stuff. But hey, you do it for the art though, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least I didn't get tackled like a fucking linebacker.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, within that video, in the second sequence, in the second verse, when we're upstairs at Venice Cafe in the jungle room, and Fred is the priest with the Hitler staff.
Yeah.
Woof.
We had to do that about 5 or 6 times to get the backhand right. And the last time, Fred hit me so hard with his ring hand that I remember like feeling it hit my tooth, and like on the inside of my mouth, I was like bleeding. And then when I looked back, I was just like, no, like that last one is totally me looking back like, I'm gonna fucking knock you over.
Yeah.
I remember you were.
But Fred, I mean, he had to do it like
All right.
that, and it turned out great. I'm glad that he hit me that hard that time, because the other time you could tell that it was just like a 60s, like old cinema slap where it's clearly you're not getting hit. Last time I got hit,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I deserved it.
Well, it's a great video, a whole lot of
Ryan
fun.
Gosling.
Big shout out to those Hamilton brothers in there also, and Neil, and a lot of cool stuff in there, like you can see. And
Oh yeah,
It's good that we have footage of livery,
yeah,
because we don't have that anymore.
yeah,
Rest in peace.
yeah.
Got a good documentation of what that bar kind of looked like and what the vibe was in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do they have any plans for a new bar?
I can't. I'm in a group chat with all of them, and I can't really disclose officially what's supposed to happen. But like, there is plans of
There's plans.
of a resurgence. Whether or not the name is going to change is kind of up in the air, I think. Because Emily is kind of wanting to take a step back, as she had been since Livery 3 opened. And, that was her name and her idea and all that. And I think that she's probably ready for that to kind of die and for a new chapter of something else to start. But we'll see.
Yeah.
I know that we'll be working with James and Brandon in some regard. Me and the Manis brothers and Jake Hurst, without a doubt.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about track 3. This is a song called Retta, and what I find really cool about this particular song is you played it solo acoustic on the show, in 2018 when you appeared on the show. So for me, it's fun to hear it now appear on the record as like the final finished product and stuff, and compared to the idea that it was years ago. So I love that kind of, we talk about it a lot, but that evolution of a song, is like where it starts as a song, as an idea, and then becomes on the record and stuff. So
Yeah. I love that song. It's one of my favorite songs that I've ever written. It's one that started out as two separate songs. The verse was a song and the chorus was a separate song, and I ended up mashing them together. And I just, I always really love that song. I wrote that tune about kind of like, growing up in a small town and kind of having your last name always kind of in everybody else's mouth, because of your family and stuff like that. And also how that's not fair, how I always growing up heard my dad get drugged down a lot because, he could be an alcoholic every now and then and stuff. And he was never mean, but he would just say something stupid at a bar. And the next time I was at a bar, I would have to hear about it. And I'm just kind of like, fuck you. Like, I don't want to hear anything about my dad, first of all. And you guys are fucking idiots anyway. Like, so I wrote that song about that, or the verses are all kind of about that and just about hanging out around small towns and doing things you shouldn't. And then the chorus was about a dog that I knew by Cape Girardeau when I was living down there, who was a beagle.
Yeah.
That was
Loretta?
named Loretta. Yeah.
Little let down. Too many strangers
Yeah, it kind of hits me hard, man, because I feel like I'm kind of at that point now, because I knew it was about the dog from, like I said, you told me some of the story before, and now hearing it, like I'm at that point. I have a 15-year-old beagle named Belle, and she's she's getting up there. But that line, like, I'm afraid you won't be here in a year and stuff, kind of thing. And so I'm kind of at that point, like there's times where like she's, I think she's losing her sight and hearing and everything, and like I'll call her and she won't answer, and I'm afraid like every time it's like, is that it? And that kind of thing. And all of a sudden she'll like get startled, like, oh shit, you call me? And like, and she'll get up, and I'm just like, but every time, like, I just like heart skips a beat a little bit, kind of thing. It's like, so, but we've been together a long time, and I don't, so.
Last time I had a dog get that old, the only thing they could hear was the oven.
Oh yeah.
Like when the oven would go off or anything, like whenever there was a beep in the house, she couldn't hear us.
Right.
But like the preheating would get done, and all of a sudden, it was a Newfoundland, 16-year-old Newfoundland.
Oh yeah, they definitely can know when there's meals being cooked, and they kind of hover around then in the kitchen and stuff.
Yes, the nose, the dog's ears.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They have good ears too. Yeah. I'll have to work on that one.
We didn't really get into it yet. I want to kind of get some of the backstory though. Like I know about Jakob Baxter as a solo artist, but as far as creating Yard Eagle and stuff, like what made you decide to put together the band and make this record and that type of stuff, and instead of just putting it out as a solo artist?
Well,
like an aesthetic choice. Just when you have a band name, it's kind of like a persona and an excuse to use different artwork or kind of reinvent the character. What we do is ultimately performance art, and so
yeah.
I don't want to use. I'm a fan of separating the art that I put out into the world from my own personal name.
Right.
To me, like, and I'm not knocking anyone who does, because the guys who are like, singer-songwriters like John Prine and stuff like that, I feel like those songs then take on this personal weight no matter what you're writing about. Because it's your name is attached to this. And I like the idea with Yard Eagle of like, I can create this whole world that exists separate from myself, even if I'm putting pieces of myself into that world. But then I also, I have plans for the future of wanting to put out photography, or put out clothing lines, or put out anything that can all live under the name of Yard Eagle, that can all live in that world that are separate from myself. And so that was why I wanted to go with a band name instead of using my own name to have on that art or whatever. And then the band, it started out as my buddy Jake Ellerbrake and I when I was like 21. He was like 19 who did the music video. And him and I have been friends, and it was an acoustic duo. And we were just kind of putting out garage band demos on SoundCloud under the name Yard Eagle. And it was the same thing. We didn't want it to be Jake Baxter and Jake Ellerbrake put out music. It's like it had something that could be away from us. Mm-hmm. And then after that, it was my buddy Ryan Harms and I with my buddy Mason for a while. But, he lives in Chicago. My buddy Mason lives in Central Illinois. He's a farmer. And we went and recorded an entire record at Native Sound of demos that never got released, probably will never get released. So then that band kind of fell apart. And then I had Alex and Hunter and Neil, and that just kind of wasn't really working out, differences of opinion on the way things should go. And so it's just like, now my goal with Yard Eagle is it's going to be whatever the fuck I want to do with whatever people I want that are all under this umbrella. But, the next record I put out might be with Britton and Becca on upright bass and fiddle.
Right.
It's like I want it to be whatever I am doing and whatever songs I'm writing and whatever band I choose to assemble around that is what it's going to be.
Sure.
And it'll probably change frequently,
Yeah.
But it's all going to be released under Dirty Power, at least for the upcoming future and the upcoming releases and stuff. I want to continue to work with Nate as, my kind of point guy and a guy who's helping kind of rein in my completely erratic, crazy
He's not that difficult.
I can be difficult sometimes, like when
Artists all like to imagine they're all this like difficult, like
I just feel bad because
creative
I
monster.
text Nate all late one night, being like,
Oh, this is funny.
we're gonna scrap the record. We aren't putting any of this out. Like, we're not doing this. We're not doing that. Like the night before we're
And I
supposed
was
to
like,
release it.
and I was like, fuck you.
And you're like, fuck you. We are putting this out.
was like,
we put a
fuck
lot
you.
of time and money into this.
I
We're
was like,
doing it.
Are you seriously wasting this much of my fucking time right now?
And,
You
and then
piece
the
of
next day I
shit.
woke up and I felt horrible about it. I was
was
on
my
a good
goal.
buzz at Hammerstones or whatever.
Yeah, I was like, Jake's drunk and he wants to cancel the record
'Cause I'm
Fuck
having a panic
this.
attack.
He's having a bad night. Now he's gonna ruin my day.
But then the next day it came out and I got so many overwhelming messages from people who aren't even my friends. Like, not from people who just like, who's, you always stroke your friends' egos no matter what, even if their art sucks. You always go, yeah, I like your record, or I like this, that, and the other. Because they're your friends. Like, that's what you do. But I got a lot of a lot of outpouring from a bunch of people that I don't consider my friends, who were like, hey, I've been listening to this. I love this stuff. The production sounds great. This, that, and the other. And I think I texted Nate the next day and was like, I'm sorry. Like,
Bobby, I'm just a baby.
I'm just a little baby.
I'm just a
Like,
baby. I don't have any money.
I don't have any money. So, and I'm glad that we put it out, because now that I can listen to it without the lens of thinking of the process of making it and all the takes and stuff and all the decisions you could have made, now I'm happy with
Sure.
it. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think there's got to be that point. You got to have somebody like a Nate or somebody that says, "That's it. We gotta cut it off. This is finished." Like, because if you sit there and overanalyze it and I can do this take better or whatever, then it just becomes sterile.
Yeah.
and it's just like nothing.
Well, there's a couple idioms that I like. One is an R. Scott Bryanism, which is songs aren't finished, they're abandoned.
Right.
And then about, as far as like, being nice to your friends when their art sucks. A comedian once told me at this open mic, he was like, I think it was in his bit actually. He was like, if you're a musician and you get off stage and someone says you had good energy, it's because you didn't play very well. But you looked like you had a good time sucking. And if you're a comedian and someone says you looked really comfortable up there, it means you weren't funny. So I'm always comfortable and I always have great energy.
and I feed off that.
And so that makes the artist. No, I don't know.
But I mean, Nate works with really high caliber musicians in his professional job with Devin, and hears a lot of songs and hears a lot of music. And so Nate is someone who I trust his opinion, because I know that he's not going to bullshit me, and I know that he's going to tell me the truth about stuff, which is why I like working artistically with him, because I think that he is pretty good about being like, I don't know about that, but that's really cool.
That's cool. And the key about that is also, being able to admit that, like, yeah, I know I want that, but I also can understand why my tastes in that isolated incident isn't in line with the artist's real vision. I think, being a producer is a lot like being a photographer, in that it's your success in that role is ultimately a function of your empathy. Your ability to empathize with the artist is everything, because if you can't capture that emotional state, that they're in and are trying to express, it doesn't matter what it sounds like. It doesn't matter if it fits in your little formula, or if it, none of that matters. If your goal is to make actual art, the art of producing, of being a photographer, of capturing any subject is, it's an exercise in empathy. So that's what I try to do. And sometimes it works better than others. But the main thing is, I'm never, some producers, I've been in the studio with as a sideman, a lot of projects where the producer is kind of like a little bit of a tyrant. And there are times when you have to crack the whip and just be like, no, we don't have time for that, or that's a bad idea, or like, you're going to waste 3 hours and it's not going to work, and I'm just telling you this right now. But for the most part, it's like just letting people explore and being there to bottle the lightning,
Yeah, man.
So I try not to boss people around in the studio. I try to just let them discover what they're really supposed to be doing.
For sure. So is Dirty Power, is Yard Eagle the only artist under Dirty Power right now? Or
Well, right now, the way I kind of am operating is I'm not really taking clients, so to speak. I'm kind of just building, working on with a couple artists. I did that single for Allie pretty recently, the I'm Not There single. Me and R. Scott Bryan of Devin Allman's, of the Allman Betts Band also, we're working on some singles right now. He's got a whole album that we're going to be releasing pretty soon of acoustic. He has a cool concept. It's like half the album's acoustic and the other half is like the acoustic songs imagined with a full orchestration. So there's like two sides.
Okay.
And together it's like a full-length LP. And then, there's a bunch of random ins and outs. And I've had, since we released the Yard Eagle thing, I've had some people who I was not expecting to hit me up and be like, hey, let's figure something out.
Nice.
So, yeah, look, I'm looking forward to putting a bunch of stuff out. And also, under the Dirty Power Productions thing, me and R. Scott Bryan and John Lum, the drummer for Allman Betts Band also, we have a little percussion studio. So while I'm doing, full productions and albums and creative production, R. Scott and I and John together, we are taking client work as far as percussion tracks. So if you need drum or hand percussion, auxiliary percussion tracks, you can definitely get in touch with us for that, and we'll turn them around pretty quick. We have a whole just percussion studio set up. So, but as far as producing records, I'm not really taking clients as much as I am like finding key partnerships like I did with Jacob, where it's like, this is fun, this is good music, and I know people like Jacob and go to his shows, so it's someone's going to listen to it. I mean, that's the main thing, is I just don't want to make stuff that no one's going to hear.
Right. Yeah, man. Well, again, check out the EP, available everywhere you get your digital music. You said you can even tell Alexa to play it, right?
Yeah, Alexa, it's all on Apple Music, and Alexa, you can Shazam it, I'm pretty sure, too,
Hey,
right?
let's try this. Hey, Siri, play Yard Eagle. Oh.
Sorry, I couldn't find your beagle.
Did I call it Yard Beagle? Yes!
Your Beagle. Oh,
Your
that's
Beagle.
kind of
I couldn't find your Beagle.
Hey, Siri. Never mind. I'm sorry. I failed, you guys.
Hey, Siri.
We'll blame it on the wine.
I'll blame it on Siri.
Yeah, not hearing Yard Eagle as your Beagle.
Yeah, what is your problem, Siri? Jesus Christ.
We have Google Home at the house, and we yell at it all the time when it messes up and stuff, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
See, that's what Apple didn't think about, is that by personifying the digital personal assistant, it not only makes you feel warmer and calmer to it when it works, but when it doesn't work, it's like, this bitch is ruining my life. Yeah. Fuck. Hate you, Siri. Hate you. As a person, as if you really exist, I hate you. Intimately. Didn't think about that, did you, Apple?
Right.
We're like, crapple.
Heyo, burn.
Let's stop this.
Yeah. We're going to get sued.
So you said you have a lot of ideas for many other things for Yard Eagle. Mm-hmm. And I guess are you already gearing up for the next batch of recording? Or
yeah. I have 10 to 12 songs already written and assembled that I am looking to put out. I'm also loosely in the talks with my roommate, Jake Manis, about doing a solo record for him where Yard Eagle is the backing band, which will be whatever band essentially that I put together for the project. And not only that I put together, but that him and I collaborate on putting together. There's some cool people that are going to be involved with that I can't really speak to yet. But yeah, I'm ready to do a full length LP. I got the songs ready. I've got a good idea of how I want to do them. And it's just now a matter of like, in this world that we're living in, of actually being able to get together and get something kind of rolling again, because it was like this release got delayed by a little bit. We were done with this record and it was mastered in fucking
February.
April. Yeah, we were done with it in February. It was mastered by like May.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Like April, May. And it was just to this point where we were kind of sitting on it for a bit because it was like, what are we are we
do?
going to be able to do an album release? Are we going to be able to do any of these things? Like, should we release this right now when kind of the conversation is not about art and not about music, but it's about actual people's lives, and it's about, like the Black Lives Matter movement and all these things were just kind of swirling on the internet, where it's like, is this really the time to take away from that conversation by, putting out
Hey, look
whatever?
at my shit. Yeah.
So we kind of like let everything simmer for a little bit before we made that move. But
Yeah. I've been continually putting the podcast out there every week, and I go through that same kind of battle. I'm like I don't want to take away from any of that, but at the same time, like, I also want to provide an outlet for those that want to break from that.
Absolutely.
There isn't like, here's an entertainment option for something different conversation.
Something positive.
Yeah, but I mean, again, like, it's very serious what's going on in all these, but like at the same time, like, so sometimes you need a break.
Hey,
from
weekly's
something.
weekly, man.
Right?
yeah.
Weekly's weekly.
Yeah. And that's kind of what we got to this point where, we were ready to put it out literally right when the shit hit the fan and everybody's gigs got canceled. Well, I mean, Yard Eagle was booked for a tour of Alaska.
All right.
Like, so we were going to have the record out right before we went to tour in Alaska in May. And that was like the date. And then once that all got thrown up in the air, it's like, okay.
Yeah, everything got weird.
Yeah, let's take a step back, wait a couple months, and then put this out instead of like, I don't know, making a rash move like we were gonna do, with putting it out in May.
Yeah. No, I think we waited a good amount of time because people kind of got, it was a nice little tasty morsel of, pre-pandemic art.
Yeah,
Not tainted by that either, because
totally not tainted by that at all.
What do you think? You mentioned a lot of various people hit you up after listening to it and things. What's the most interesting review or response or anything like that? Anybody?
This man keeps calling me up around 11:30 and just breathing heavily into the phone.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't really know what I would consider the most interesting thing so far that's come from this release is that I've been getting, 10 to 20 new Facebook likes a day, which is not really anything, but they're all from Brazil.
All right.
And that's been consistent every day for the last 2 or 3 weeks. So it's like, since we released the record in Brazil, we've gotten a whole bunch of likes and like attention. And by a whole bunch, I'm not, a whole bunch for me, not for, the Stones or whatever. But
my show's doing really well in France right now for some reason.
You mentioned that when we did the LS one. That's so cool.
I'm charting on France charts like every week now, and I'm like, I don't know why, but thank you French people for listening. France,
if you want to hit up, if you want to hit up Yard Eagle, I took 3 years of French in high school,
right?
So I would love to come and drink red wine with you guys and play some shows.
But
I'm really good at drinking
really
wine.
good at drinking red wine. He's one of the best I've ever seen. I mean, he just has like this like intimate emotional affect to the way he gets wasted at my house. That's just unique. I don't know. I don't see anyone else drinking like that right now.
Can you expound on that? I'm interested to know what you think.
Oh no, I'm just doing a bit where instead of like your art being like guitar playing, you just drink. You're just a lush. That's all you do.
To be fair, I like drinking, but like I like enjoying some alcohol. I definitely like to drink things that I enjoy versus like I'm gonna go get a 30 rack of Natty and get wasted and watch sports.
Yeah, dude.
It's like I'm gonna get a nice bottle of wine and it's a pinky out.
I'm not, butt chugging Popov. I'm butt sipping Glenlivet.
Yahtzee.
You know what I mean? Like, a couple cubes. 2-quart funnel.
Oh, also, I went back and listened to I went back and listened to the LS Express thing where you mentioned talking to David Ruprecht of Supermarket Sweep. I just want to say I love Supermarket Sweep. Again, I said that on the LS, but
what a show.
Yeah, David Ruprecht, you can hit me up anytime. I'd love to come play a private show because you're so cool.
Yeah.
And Supermarket Sweep was my favorite show growing up.
Yeah. Well, we're basically best friends now, so he
give him my number.
Yeah.
What's he doing? Hit him up. Let's kick it. I'll heat up some barbecue.
There we go. Yeah, that was fun, man. I'm hopefully we can do that again sometime. That was a cool hang with him and on Zoom. All All right, guys, I got a couple questions for you, and we'll get out of here. Okay, say you could create a new curse word. What would it be?
You first. Or should I go first?
You go first. I can't think of one.
And it can always be like a real word that's not a curse word, but you would make it a curse, kind of.
All right. So, you know when like you stub your toe in front of children or something, and you want to curse, but you don't, and like you don't want to offend the children, but you also don't want to like be like, oh darn, and like look like a total fucking square. So, I want to make a word that is equally satisfying as going fuck, but you can scream it in public when you stub your toe.
Right.
So I'm thinking like blarm.
Blarm.
That works pretty good. Or fork works pretty good too. Yeah. I just want something I can scream in public without getting arrested.
One of my favorites is that Tourette's guy video when he yells Bob Saget. Like that's just like
That one's great.
so fun.
Bob Saget is a good one.
Yeah.
I do love just yelling that one.
Yep.
Or like when in 40-Year-Old Virgin when he's getting waxed.
Oh yeah.
Barbara Streisand. Yeah. Or I think that's who
Kelly
he yells.
Clarkson.
Kelly
Clarkson.
That's who he
Yeah.
yells. Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly Clarkson.
That's my new curse word.
They all work.
I'm
Yeah.
co-opting that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that we need to make oof a more potent cuss word. Because
Yeah.
oof is also kind of like fuck.
We need some shock value.
Fuck. Like I think oof needs to be something that we normalize as being like maybe we need to talk. No, I'm not going to say that out loud. I was going to say we need to talk to people in the adult entertainment industry and have them
how
start
can we
co-opting
make-
that word into being a word.
How can we make oof racist?
I don't know. Let's call up Tucker Carlson and see if he has any.
He'll figure it out.
Yeah, he probably already is.
We got our best minds on this. By which I mean the worst minds in the country.
Hey, Shane, have you seen the Ben Shapiro reaction to WAP yet? The new Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion?
I think so. I think I've seen some of that.
He's like, I can't believe they're so fixated on their vagina.
Yeah, that when he says like P word.
He says P word.
Yeah,
The fact that he
P-word.
reads all the lyrics out
Yeah.
loud, though, is just so good. And the thing is, he'll say whores. He'll say whores in this house, but he won't say dick and he won't say pussy.
Yeah.
And I think that is just...
It's bizarre.
Because to me, whore is a worse word than pussy, right?
Well, no, because it's denigrating to women who aren't people.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. It's Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, duh.
I was listening to Stern's show and they were talking about this song and he was Howard was kind of going on. I think he talked a little bit about Ben also, but they were talking about how there was like the edited version called Wet and Gushy,
Which is hilarious.
and he's like, I don't know, that sounds almost worse than
It does.
wet ass pussy.
I love that there's a boardroom full of
Right.
people somewhere that are like, how can we not say
Yeah.
pussy?
You
How
know-
are we editing this?
you know, for
Wet and
the-
gushy.
Yeah, for the kids.
Yeah. Wet and gushy. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
All right.
Oh, instead of sex, why don't we make it about killing people? How do we replace the sex with violence? Get it on MTV, daytime.
He was saying, I guess there was like a petition against the song, not because of any of the content or anything, but the fact that they had Kylie Jenner in the video or something like that. Like that they, I don't something. That's what I didn't look too far into it to provide a lot of detail about it, but he was saying that like it was like this black woman empowerment kind of song with them singing it, and then they have Kylie Jenner in it. So that's what I guess a lot of people took offense to that or took part to that or something. I don't know. I was like, well, who said it was a black woman empowerment song? I mean, obviously it's Cardi B and singing about her wet ass pussy or whatever, but.
I'm just mad that Kylie Jenner has a career.
Yeah, that just sucks. That's what I'm petitioning.
I'm petitioning Kylie Jenner having a career.
Yeah.
Any of the Jenners.
Well,
Yeah.
she's was one of like the youngest millionaire or something like, or something stupid like that.
Well,
Like,
she like has this. That's actually a really interesting whole fucking shit show. She has this like, she has this makeup line, but it looks like the whole her as a youngest female billionaire was really just a result of some creative bookkeeping to like overinflate her wealth, because it's just like with Trump trying to inflate his net worth. if you are worth a lot of money, it's easier to, raise venture capital, get loans. Like people like giving money to successful people. They don't like giving money to unsuccessful people. So if you can inflate your wealth, she's essentially committing securities fraud.
Do you see why I am partnered with this guy?
Right.
It's because I don't understand any of that. And he is going to eventually inflate my wealth, which then inflates his wealth.
Boom.
Do you know Bob Dylan's real name? We were talking about,
Yeah, Robert Zimmerman.
No, it's Barry Manilow. We were talking about Yard Eagle. You wanted to separate yourself from the art, Anyway.
I already got the check, but I don't know what I got to call for next. Except for the FBI.
That's true.
What's a
Shout out to Fred.
What's a dream duet or collaboration you'd love to see for Yard Eagle and Dirty Power?
A dream duet. The thing is that a lot of the people who I collaborate now with are actually people that I dreamed. I remember the first thing that I ever saw in town. I was 21. I was living over in O'Fallon. I had just moved back to town from living in Chicago, living by Cape Girardeau. Saw the River Kittens open up for Old Salt Union at the Bootleg, the Bootleg's the outside, right?
No, it's Atomic.
It's okay, just Atomic Pavilion or whatever. And I remember being like, damn, these are some of these are great songs. These people are so talented. I remember being like, it would be a dream to be able to get to play for them and get to collaborate with them. And so now I get to do that all the time, and it's just this is so cool. So I guess what's farther than that?
I want Bob Dylan and Barry Manilow, but you never see them together, do you?
No, not in the same room. No. Not even the Grammys. I guess a dream collaboration for me would be, which could never happen in a million years, but I would love to work with Theo Katzman and the Wolfpack guys. That would be I think that would just be so fun, but I'd have to really go home and work on my 16th notes.
And have David Ruprecht introduce the record.
See, and that's it, yeah, and have David Ruprecht just on the record cover and hang out and maybe contribute the liner notes or something.
I got to meet Corey Wong not too long ago.
Fuck you.
That was kind of fun. I was totally faded and wearing overalls outside of a hotel, and all I could do, he got out of the van, and I was like, man, I just want to let you know I missed my shuttle back to the hotel. The artists all get shuttled around in these vans. I missed my shuttle 3 times, and I kept telling him to come back later because your set was so good. And then me and the rest of his crew just kept taking turns being like, it was disgusting. It was unreasonable. And then the tour manager would be like, it was abhorrent. We just kept coming.
Was he cool? Was Corey cool?
He was laughing his ass. That's why we kept going, because I kept being like, it was gross. It was gross. Your set was gross. And we all just kept thinking of more negative terms to describe his set as. Obviously, it was opposite day. You know? Anyway, it was fun. He seems fun. This whole crew's fun.
Quickly speaking about Wolfpack and Corey Wong, did you ever see that little clip where they're at Madison Square Garden and Theo Katzman has got the little Britney Spears headset mic, and he's wearing his white shorts and his look.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He's like recently the federal government did an audit on Wolfpack and on Joe Dart and Corey Wong, and they found not a single 16th note unaccounted for. And then Corey Wong and they broke it down and did a lead together, and it was literally just
it's so dirty.
Dirtiest, most abhorrent thing you've ever heard.
Hey, it's crazy. It's almost like if you make a funk record with only white people, it can play Madison Square Garden. Yeah. 2020, baby. It's sick.
Horrible.
No, but they are sick. They actually are legit. They are legit.
Yep. Well, hopefully we get Yard Eagle out there on tour at Phil Madison Square Gardens one of these days.
Hell
It'll
yeah.
be cool. We're definitely going to go to Alaska next year. As long as that festival that we were playing gets put on and stuff, it'll be like us, Manus Brothers, and Gusman, just like we were going to do earlier this year. That's definitely going to happen if we're allowed to.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely be on the road next year.
Yeah, that's a killer bill if you can get that show on the road. And
it'll just be an experience because those guys are all buds. You know, we're all good friends with each other, and it'll just be so fun.
I've often had that kind of a similar kind of idea, just like, but at the same time, I'm like, even though it's great music and stuff, it'd be hard to sell and get people to give a shit in another city because they I imagine, if a different, say, whatever, Chicago or Nashville or whatever tour came to St. Louis, I probably wouldn't care. Like, just honestly, because I have all my friends and everything else. But I'm saying, like, if we had an all St. Louis tour type of thing put together, like a collection of players, and we hit the road and we hit these different cities, just to show them what St. Louis has, I think it could be cool. But again, like, I think it'd be hard to sell.
the other way of looking at it is, when you start a band in St. Louis or whatever city you're from, no one knows who the fuck you are.
Right.
And so you're just as likely to draw an audience in your town as a new band as you are. I mean, yeah, those first 10 people, those first 10 friends of yours who will show up to the show, like, you don't have those in Topeka or whatever. But no one knows who the fuck we are anywhere.
Right.
So play a show wherever.
Yeah.
Fucking book one at the Viper Room. Who cares? Like, get into the Mint. It doesn't matter. Like, there'll be the same amount of people here for your show probably if you're a new band, So I always tell people, like, if you're playing shows locally and it's a good band and you're doing well, it's never too early to go, I'm gonna start just calling places in Columbia or in Nashville or in Memphis, and just start trying to do it. And you'll jump on an opening slot, you'll play to some biker bar, you'll do some shit, you'll do 3 or 4 of them, and the next thing you know, some band from that city will go, hey, we saw you, blah, blah, you want to do a set with us? Or maybe we'll open for you in St. Louis, and you'll open for, So you just got to start doing it. But It really is like, no one knows you anywhere.
Yeah.
And now, touring's obsolete. I want to even talk about it. There's no touring.
Yeah.
So.
Virtual tour.
But yeah, that's, definitely kind of, you got to essentially plant a seed, water it, and come back in a year and check on it. And hopefully those 10 people that were at the show brought a couple friends, and kind of keeps growing. So but yeah, I think it'd be killer, man, to get that tour out next year to hit Alaska and all the different stops along the way. Because
Alaska's wild.
I think that'd just be fun to hit and get in a van with all those dudes, because it's gonna be a party on wheels, man. So
oh yeah, we'd lose the wheels at some point probably.
Right.
Depending on who was driving.
But get plugged in with Jacob and Yard Eagle on your Facebook page. Say hi.
And we got an Instagram now too.
Say hi to all the friends from Brazil for us. And
hello, Brazil. We're going to sponsor this podcast in Brazil when it comes out.
There you go, man.
Then we can get you on the charts over there too.
Hell yeah! Now we're talking. Nate, is there any? We got a Dirty Power YouTube page, right?
Yeah, there's nothing on it yet.
Well, this video,
oh yeah, it is.
This debuted on there, right?
Yeah. So if you look up Yard Eagle, the one music video that's up will take you to the Dirty Power production pages. We're going to start having live content streamed there very soon. I'm partnering with Muse, this startup out of New York that is going to be bringing ticketed VR streams out of this space through the Dirty Power presenter label. So check that out. It's a pretty interesting program. Well, basically, you buy a ticket. If you already have a VR headset, you just use yours. If you don't want to use VR, you just use the HD stream. And if you want to get into VR, you buy a $40 ticket. We send you a VR headset, and you get to experience. And it's cool because you can have the VR on your phone, and then it's also on the TV. So if you're hanging out with a couple people, you guys can switch off on the VR or not use it at all. It's kind of an interesting platform. So. There's a bunch of shit that's going to be popping up under the Dirty Power network right now. More or less, it's just kind of a placeholder until, we got the Yard Eagle stuff, and we also got the next round of Ali Vogler stuff and R. Scott stuff. All that's going to start popping up in there. So keep an eye out.
Very cool. Well, guys, it's been a whole lot of fun. I really, really glad we made this happen. And big shout out to Blackberry Wine for sponsoring today's episode. And
I was supposed to be on tour all summer with Blackberry Smoke.
Oh, man. Yeah. Those guys are rule, man. That's a fun
cool
show.
Band. Yeah.
A lot of hair.
Yeah.
A lot of hair.
A lot of hair in that band.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. Well, thanks, guys. And
thank you for all you do.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate you.
Happy to help, guys.
Love you.
Love you guys. All right. Bye, everybody.
See ya. We should do an ASMR rock paper podcast sometime.
This is me scratching your balls.
Yeah.
I'm scratching your balls.
And it's with type on there. Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Well, yeah, that was it.